Welcome back to my channel. It's time for a minute with Mom. I'm your host, Tamara Johnson, and today we're going to be talking on the subject of doing a new thing. Okay, so moment of transparency. I don't like to do new things. I don't. I am one of those individuals where I don't typically handle change very well. I like a routine. I have my routines. I want to know what's coming down the pipe. I want to know what to expect within the next hour of my day, and I don't like surprises. So, this right here, this whole video is a stretch for me. And I know some of you might be like, but girl, you make videos all the time. Why is this any different than the other videos that you've made? I'm going to tell you, because in my other videos, I'm talking about makeup and beauty and crafting and fun things. Those things are so easy for me to talk about, and they don't require much thought. I mean, it doesn't really require much preparation or thought to put on makeup. It's something that it's a routine for me. I do it all the time. I don't have to think about it. However, when I decided to take my podcast into video version, there was a moment of trepidation for me because I prepare for my podcasts extensively, like extensively. I don't just jump on. Well, that's not true. Sometimes if the Lord drops something in my spirit, I will jump on and record a podcast like that. But those times are far and few between. Most times I have a moment or a season of preparation before I record a podcast. And the reason why I do that is because I don't want to just jump on the podcast flapping my gums about stuff that doesn't make sense or is not useful. And so a lot of times the content that I bring on my podcast requires me to get in the word. It requires me to have a format. It requires me to prepare in advance. And so when my friend asked me if I would consider moving my podcast, or not moving it, but adding video to my podcast and really to A Minute with Mom, my whole umbrella of A Minute with Mom, I had to clutch my pearls a little bit because I was like, another layer, sir, another layer of challenge. Are you serious right now? I mean, because let's just be honest, the podcast was different for me too. Like I was not, let's go do it when he first suggested it, even though I enjoyed being on his podcast. The idea of me having my own podcast, that scared me. Because I'm like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to say? What am I going to do? I've never done this before. And so here we are today adding another layer of challenge of, oh my gosh, I've never made videos like this before. What am I going to say? What am I going to do? How is it going to sound? How is it going to look? And I was really giving my friend a hard time earlier this week in that conversation with him because it's one of those things where sometimes people can see your potential before you can. And I love having those type of people around me because they keep me accountable. They keep me on my toes. They keep me fresh. And if you don't have those people in your circle, I highly suggest that you get some of those, but don't just get anybody, okay? These people have to also love you. They have to also care for you, and they have to also be rooting for you. And I'm so blessed that the Lord has given me quite a nice little circle of those people who challenge me in that way. And that's really what today's video is about in doing a new thing. Sometimes when we step out on faith and we do something new, it can be very daunting. It can feel daunting, especially if your personality is like mine and you don't like change, you don't like quick change, you don't handle surprises well, and you like a routine. I am a very routine type of person. And so changing script or bringing something, adding something new into something that I've already taken the time to figure out and master, sometimes it just, it gets my brain a little like, oh, what are we doing? What are we doing? And I find myself fumbling and feeling ill-equipped and feeling less than capable of doing that thing. And what I want to say to that is, it's a lie. It's the okey doke. This is the enemy's finest work here. If he can get a hold of that negative stinking thinking process part of your brain and just inject a glimmer of doubt in there, just a little, then that little prick tends to turn into a big tumbleweed of second guessing your own self, and then self-doubting, and just eventually inactivity is basically what he's after. And so I literally had to force myself to make this video. I had to force myself to make the introduction video that came before this one. I had to force myself out of my comfort zone. And I want to encourage you, whoever's watching this video, whoever's a part of the A Minute with Mom community, don't allow the enemy to pinhold you in these moments of doubt, in these moments of feeling trepidatious or anxious about doing something new. Take a step of faith, just a step. God is not asking you to run a marathon. He's asking you to take a step, okay? And I had to get out of my own mind. I had to get out of my own self-sabotaging tendencies to realize that what my dear friend was just asking me to do was to make a video. He did not say make a whole catalog of videos. He did not say, completely start a whole new channel. In my moment of panicking, and sometimes I look beyond where I should be focusing on to see what's coming, because again, I want to be prepared. I want to know what's coming down the road. And sometimes that's useful, and sometimes that will trip you up, because you can only see what is in front of you. You can only see the step that you're on sometimes, especially if you're in the dark. I would not recommend trying to go up a flight of stairs in the dark and not focus on one step at a time. You can't take them two at a time. Sometimes in life, we are on that dark staircase where the only light that's shining, you all have seen that meme, that quote around on the internet, the only light that's shining is on the stair that you're on. So I just wanted to encourage you today. If God has given you something to do, if God has put something in your spirit, if God has given you instruction to do something, if it's an idea, if it's a business idea, if whatever it is He has given you to do, and it feels like it's a little trepidatious, it might feel like it's bigger than you, it might feel like you're ill-equipped to do it. I don't want you to look at the whole staircase. I want you to look at the step that you're on and just take a step forward. Just move. The Bible tells us that faith without works is dead. And what that means is that yes, we can have the faith to do something, but coupled with the faith, we also need action. And what the enemy tries to do, and he's very good at it, is we can have the faith to believe for something, but if the enemy can get you so afraid that you are not moving, then he succeeded, because then it just remains an idea. If you never act on it, that's all it's ever going to be, is an idea. I want to challenge you today to kind of look in your library of ideas. Have you taken action on any of those things, or are they sitting on the shelf in your mind collecting dust? Pray and ask God, how do you want me to do this? What step do I need to take next? Sometimes it's not as complicated as we think. I think that I often overcomplicate the steps that I need to do, because I'm constantly trying to see way down the road, where he's saying, Tamara, I did not ask you to look into next week. We're not fortune tellers. And even though God can see the whole timeline, that's not information that is in your pay grade. Okay, that's above your pay grade. That's above my pay grade. When he wants you to know what the next thing is to do, he will let you know. But the first thing that he requires of us is to take action. And so take action. Don't sit on that thing, whatever that thing that God has put in you, whether it's a business idea, whether it's going back to school, whether it's moving to a different state or finding a new job, whatever that thing is that God has put in your heart to do that has you feeling trepidatious, that has you second guessing yourself, just take one step forward. Take action. Take that step of faith. Move in the direction that that thing is pointing in, and let God steer your feet the right way. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I hope that you enjoyed this segment of A Minute with Mom. You know what I'm going to tell you. Stay sweet, stay beautiful, and remember, there's always time for A Minute with Mom. I will catch you in the next video. On your way out, go ahead and click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so that you can be aware of our next gathering time. Until we meet again, I love you and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.